And I'm going to tell you what, the stuff we're going to talk to you about today and tell you about today, this is the stuff that even the people who spend a lot of money on bringing somebody in to do training and development, they're not going to experience cultural transformation until the leaders inside of their company do the stuff we're actually about to tell you about. So they're not leading. That's why they need us there in the first place. And it hasn't registered. They've got to lead.
Wait, I didn't know that was an option. I could get paid for this?
Oh, I messed up now. I got to start paying you.
I didn't know getting paid was an option. Wait a minute.
Hey, she's laughing because she knows I don't have any money. That's why she laughed so hard. She knows I wouldn't get anybody to do it if I had to pay somebody. Hello, and thanks for listening to the Blue Collar Leadership Podcast today. Got Ria back with me, my awesome, amazing wife. Some of you know her, seen her, read her books. She's got lots of stuff. She doesn't need me, but I need her. You know what I'm saying?
I do need you.
I'm glad to have her here today. We're gonna talk about something that a lot of folks ask us about, and they don't even know we have this available. Ria has been awesome. She develops and designs and maintains our websites, and she made something really cool. Recently, she's basically redone all of our websites, but bluecollarleadership.com is the one we're talking about today. And basically, we're going to share with you and go in detail about the different options you have for creating or having no cost or low cost development of yourself or others. If you're a leader and people report to you, we're going to share some ways you can actually develop your people with no cost or low cost. You decide. A lot of people moan, groan, whine about investing money in development. They don't want to hire people and bring people in and all that stuff. That's fine. Still got to do something. And I'm going to tell you what, the stuff we're going to talk to you about today and tell you about today, this is the stuff that even the people who spend a lot of money on bringing somebody in to do training and development, they're not going to experience cultural transformation until the leaders inside of their company do the stuff we're actually about to tell you about. So even if you spend a lot of money, you still got to do what we're about to teach you. But we're going to start out teaching you the way you don't have to spend a lot of money. And Ria's got my phone number up on the screen. If you're not watching this, my cell phone, 334-728-4143. And if you can just call me, try to catch me, or if you want to schedule an appointment, you can go to bluecollarleadership.com, and there's plenty of buttons. You'll find them all over that website. You can schedule a call, put your number in. I'll call you at a specific time. That way we ain't playing phone tag, that sort of stuff. So today, what we're going to talk about today is we got a web page. Just go ahead and tell you that now, but then we're going to break it down and talk about it. But you go to bluecollarleadership.com/implement, IMPLEMENT, and you can find out all about what we're going to talk about today, and maybe a lot more details. There's a lot of buttons on that page that expand into other things specifically, so you can get a deep dive into it. But we've got basically, you about to understand, Ria does everything. She makes the website. She hosts these video podcasts, and she edits them, and she does all that stuff, and she makes the infographics. She's real good at all this digital stuff. That's her space, not my space. If it was up to me, I wouldn't have any of this stuff unless I was paying somebody else to do it.
Ria, wait, I didn't know that was an option. I could get paid for this?
Oh, I messed up now. I got to start paying you.
I didn't know getting paid was an option. Wait a minute.
Hey, she's laughing because she knows I don't have any money. That's why she laughed so hard. She knows I wouldn't get anybody to do it if I had to pay somebody.
No.
So pull up the graphic, Ria, and let's break it down. And if you're listening, it's not going to be the same for you, but we're still going to break it down. But I encourage you, again, go to bluecollarleadership.com/implement. You can see it all there, or go to Blue Collar Leadership YouTube channel and look for this video. It'll be out there, and you can read it and see it. So start us off here, Ria. Tell us about this. Yeah. Just give us an overview, and then we'll go back and drill down.
Yeah, so this was kind of inspired from I forget where we were speaking. You and I were speaking somewhere, and one of the leaders at the event came up and was like, "It sounds great. I want to develop my people. How do I do it? What are some of the ways that we can do it?" And I'm I'm a visual person, right? And I'm like a practical person. I theory is great, but I want to know what's 1, 2, and 3 steps to do something, right? And even better when I can see that in a visual form, because I just think my brain tends to grasp things a lot better like that. So we've talked about these different ways that leaders can develop their team members, but it was just having, again, the inspiration, the idea to put it in one easy to understand graphic that you could give somebody. And then from there, we, put it on the website. Yeah. So, we've talked about number one, what we know is that transformation doesn't happen in one day, it happens every day. So, regardless of what we're trying to develop someone in, the most effective way that people develop and grow is, small daily amounts regularly and consistently, right? I love the analogy. It's like Simon Sinek talks about, it's like brushing your teeth. You don't have to brush your teeth all day, but you got to brush them every day, right? Growth and development is kind of the same way. Don't have to do it all day, but you need to do it pretty consistently. Every day's great. Every week is okay. You kind of figure out how often and consistent. But here's the thing: the faster you want to go, the more frequent it needs to be. And it doesn't have to be long sessions. We're not talking about spending an hour a day in development. We're talking about 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes. Every organization is different. Every team is different. But that's why we give a lot of different options and say, hey, pick the one that fits. Pick the one that makes sense. Pick the one that you can do. It's kind of like when somebody asks you, like, what is the best vegetable to eat? The one that you'll eat, right? I mean, this is kind of the same way. What's the best format? The one that you'll stick to.
Yep. So I'll go over the things there. So on the infographic Ria has, we've got several things, and these are the things you got to do. Somebody's got to do these things, and if you're going to hire someone out, like a lot of times people think they want to hire us to come do some of these things. They need to do these things. I promise you don't want to spend the money it's going to take to get me and Ria to come into your organization to do this. We're not cheap, are we, Ria? We ain't coming in. I mean, it's thousands of dollars a day if you want us to come in and do something like this, and it's still not going to help. You got to get your leaders need to be leading, and these are the things that you can do, and that this really covers pretty much everything. So we talk about facilitating book studies. We talk about using a Blue Collar Leadership Toolbox Tips books. Those just take a couple of minutes. The book studies are 10 to 15 minutes, and we're talking about 1 or 2 a week. And if you're too busy, just do one. We're talking about a 10 or 15-minute investment. The toolbox tips are a couple of minutes once a week, or at a safety meeting, or at startup. The other thing is, and both of those come with the cost of the book, basically. So there's not much cost. That's part of the low cost solution. And then we talk about doing a podcast discussion.
Mm-hmm.
I've got nearly 500 episodes on my podcast, but there's thousands and thousands of people that have podcasts out there, and they're free, and they're on all different types of topics. So you could play a podcast, an audio. You don't just walk in the room and sit down and turn it on and listen to it for 20 minutes, 30 minutes to get up and walk out. There ain't a whole lot of value in that. People can do that on their own. The value comes in what we say right there, the podcast discussion. Play it, something interesting pops up, pause it, talk about it, that sort of thing. So what you're doing is facilitating a discussion around a specific topic. You can do it with a podcast. You can do it with videos. There's all kind of videos on YouTube out there, free. So that's the one that's absolutely a free option. And then the other one we talk about, and it's lower cost relative to bringing in someone from the outside to do development and putting everybody in a room, or renting a hotel conference room, or doing all that sort of stuff. A lot of people like this option, but it's the Blue Collar Leadership Academy videos, and those are courses, and you can enroll as an individual. If you want to develop yourself as an individual, you can enroll yourself. Those courses are $99 or either $199 per person, and there's also a group rate where it's $9.99 per program, or $19.99 for all programs, which there's 7 courses in there now, and they're 7.5 hours each. And
Or like they also can just get started with the free one, right? The 5 types of leaders, 5typesofleaders.com. Just, I mean, no credit card required, right? You can just get in there and do some development.
yeah, and that's one I'd encourage you to, if you haven't went through that course, check it out. It's the 5typesofleaders.com. 5 is the number 5, as Ria was saying a second ago, the 5typesofleaders.com. It's at the bottom of the infographic. If you go to bluecollarleadership.com/implement, you're going to find the breakdown to all these different things with some support. But that's one of those videos. It's free. If you're a leader, especially if you're a leader of leaders, you could download that video. You could get everybody to go through it on their own, which is one thing that they could do individually, and they get a certificate of completion.
Mm-hmm.
But you could do that, or you could play the video. That one is a 2-hour course, and there's 8 15-minute videos. And again, it's free. You could play one video, 15 minutes, have your leadership team, once a week for 8 weeks. You could go through this course, play the video, but don't just play it and get up and leave. Play it, pause it, talk about it, say things, ask questions, give people to give examples when a principle has actually been applied and you got the results that Ria and I are talking about in the video, or when have we did the opposite and we got the opposite result, the bad result, and talk about how does this apply to us? How does it apply to our clients? All that stuff. All you're trying to do with leadership development is provoke thought, raise awareness. That's what every bit of this is about. And if you're a formal authority leader and some part of your week isn't to provoke thought and raise awareness relative to character development, how to interact with other people, how to lead yourself well when things are going wrong, how to communicate better, how to be open, transparent, trustworthy, all that sort of stuff. If you're not doing that sort of stuff, you're not leading very well. You may be managing like a champ, managing the things and processes, but you're not leading people. This stuff that we're talking about today, this is what leaders, high impact leaders of people, this is the kind of stuff they do. This is what allows them to have a high performance team. It doesn't matter if you're the CEO. If you're the CEO, you can do lots of things. You could do these things we're talking about with the executive team, or you could walk out and do this once a week with a frontline entry level workforce, or you could have a mixed group, which is what I'd highly recommend. A cross-functional team, people at every different level in different jobs. Get a team of 6, 8, 10 people together. 4 to 10 is what we say in the book study. Start doing something. But most people, they do nothing when it comes to this type of stuff, do they, Ria?
Yeah, and I just want to come back around to what you were saying earlier, Mac, when you were talking about bringing us in is not going to help. It does help, but rather in the context of a kickstart to the initiative, right? Or a way to energize people, a way to get people engaged, a way to get people bought in as to why it's important for them, both personally and professionally. And that's why we do the special offer, right? Where we can do a 2-hour block of training or speaking, and you get resources in the form of books or videos so that you've got something to continue the transformation, continue the growth every single day. Now, a company doesn't have to bring us in to get started doing the book study sessions or the podcast sessions. Absolutely not. You do have to do those, whether we come in or not, right? That's the leadership development that happens over time. And, we've got clients that do them virtually. We've got clients that do book study sessions by Zoom or a hybrid where they've got some people in the room and some people dialed in, right? Leaders are going to figure out a way to make it happen. That's what high impact leaders do, rather than looking for excuses of, well, it's just not important. It's kind of like exercise. It's not going to come find you at the beginning of a shift and say, hey, this is important, let's do it, right? You've got to be responsible for making it happen. And again, you and I, Mac, can come in and kickstart it and get people bought in and engaged and excited. But at the end of the day, the leadership is what the leader does after we're gone. And, figure out the podcast or the video session. Everyone learns differently. Like, I'm not a podcast person, really. I like videos, or I like reading even more than videos, honestly. So, but everyone's different, right? But figure out what works, what makes sense, and something that you can commit to and do it. It's that simple.
Yeah. We have a lot of leaders call us and they hear about our deal you're talking about. And you can learn about that at bluecollarleadership.com/special offer. and learn more about that. But basically, what it costs you to get us in on site, we give you that dollar amount in resources, and it can be a combination of resources, meaning it can be a combination of books and online video course access for your team, or it could be all video access, or it could be all books. Either way, any combination. But what you pay us to come in and kickstart your journey, or to motivate and inspire to keep it going, you're gonna get it in resources. And a lot of times, real when people call and talk about that after we explain it, a lot of times they'll say, "But how much does it cost if we don't want the books and the courses?"
Mm.
What that tells me that they ain't planning to do nothing after we leave. If they were planning to do something, they'd be begging for that stuff. They'd be wanting that stuff and be very appreciative of getting it. But a lot of leaders, they're not leading. That's why they need us there in the first place. And it hasn't registered. They've got to lead, which means they got to develop people. That's almost a better word to say, because a lot of times people don't know what it means when you say you got to lead the people. When we say you got to lead the people, it means you have to develop the people around character development. Everybody's already developing people around competency. You got to do that to get the job done. So let's jump back up to our infographic, talk about a little bit, break this down a little bit. Like we were talking about the book. When people have us come in and speak, that's very powerful. It's very valuable, and it helps us get people aligned behind a mission. They get to hear me and you. They get to meet us. We get to shake hands, give some hugs, make some jokes, laugh. Sometimes we eat with them, things like that. And so then when they're reading our books or hearing our podcasts or watching our videos, they actually have a connection with us, and they've heard our personal stories that we don't share a lot in these videos. So just touch on, let's talk about the book study.
Yeah, so the book study session, it can be as simple as about a 15-minute weekly session. You get, it doesn't have to be our materials, but our books are written in 3-page chapters specifically for this easy format, right? Kind of a micro lesson style learning. Ideally, everyone gets a copy of the book. The leader or the facilitator of the session downloads the audio book and plays it. And as everyone listens together, everyone's underlining any key points in the material, right? They have their own book. They can just highlight key points, key quotes. And then after the end of the chapter, 6 or 7 minutes of listening, everyone, starting with the facilitator, shares one key takeaway and why it was important. So just sharing from a place of humility. Hey, this quote on listening resonated with me because I got it wrong the other day and I can do better, right? The reason this is so powerful, though, is sharing from that place of humility of, hey, I need to do better, rather than pointing fingers or criticizing or blaming or judging someone else and saying, hey, you should be a better listener, right? Because this method uses subconscious learning and it's incredibly powerful.
Yeah, so you do that with 4 to 10 people, and there's no teaching, there's no homework, there's no preparation, so it's easy. And you'll notice if you're watching the video, or if you go to the implement page that we've been sharing with you, there's also another page. But if you look at the infographic up the top right, you see a free video to learn how to actually facilitate a book study, a high impact book study. You go to, if you're not seeing it, if you're just listening, you go to bluecollarleadership.com/book study training, and everything that we're giving you a very high level just overview at the moment, but you can go there and get a free 45-minute video. You can actually watch over a 1-hour interview with Mr. Jim McEwen up at the city of St. Peters, Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually been facilitating book studies for years, a couple a week, and you can listen to him talk about it. And he is now the formal authority boss of his team. He's a supervisor there now. But when I recorded that video with him, and at that point, it was 2 years he had been facilitating book studies, and he was not the boss. He was just one of the 10 frontline entry-level workers, but he was a high-impact leader. And so you go to bluecollarleadership.com/book study training. You can watch the training video. You can watch Jim's video. You'll see 4 different testimonials from people talking about the results they got from facilitating those book studies. And then you go do it. You go make it happen. And it doesn't cost you that much. Get everybody a book, get everybody a highlighter, and make it happen. And, you got something, Ria?
No, I just thought you were done, so I was going to jump in.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, you touched on the podcast discussion a little bit already, but again, podcast everywhere. There's tons of great leadership material out there. Bring everyone together, listen to it together, have a 10 or 15-minute discussion on what does it mean to us? What would it mean to implement that concept here, right? That doesn't cost anything. Podcasts are free. There are so many great ways to get some great information. But there again, it's got to have the leader who's going to make sure that the growth and development is a priority, right? It's not about spending the money. It's kind of like joining a gym. It's easy to join the gym, but you got to go exercise. It's easy to just, to put a plug and play, check the box program in, but you still have to do the work.
Absolutely. So we have kind of touched on them all, the blue collar leadership toolbox tips. I'll just share with you, and you can go to bluecollarleadership.com/toolbox tips and actually learn more about those books. You can go to the bluecollarleadership.com/download page and actually preview the tips books. There's actually 6 tips from the first volume. There's 3 books now, so you can go see what those tips look like. But they're real short. They're basically on 2 pages. They're not even full 2 pages because there's some space in there. But you can read a tip in about 45 seconds to a minute. So it's something, if I was kicking off a Monday morning startup meeting with my team, my crew, I would read that. And if all I was doing was reading that to provoke some thought, raise awareness, that's better than nothing. It's going to take 45 seconds to a minute. But if I really want to lead my team at a higher level, I'm going to have a discussion around that little 45 seconds to 60-minute tip that I read. I may read it all from beginning to end to start with, but before I go, I'm going to read it myself and highlight a couple of things. And then I'll talk about the couple of points that I highlighted, and I'll share some stories or ask some questions so I can turn that little one minute lesson into a 5 or 10 minute discussion. And again, the whole point is provoke thought, raise awareness, keep these high impact leadership and personal growth principles at top of mind. That's the whole point is I gotta do that as a leader. And so we talk about the Academy videos. If you go to the Blue Collar Leadership YouTube channel, you actually can go to the playlist for the Academy excerpts. I forget what that playlist is actually called, but it's pretty easy to find it. There ain't that many playlists in there, but you can go in and see there's 7 video courses. You can go in and actually watch about 9 or 10 minutes, kind of like a highlight reel from each one of those courses. So there's over an hour if you just watched each one of those. That's another free thing. You could go those and pull those up, play those. Again, they're about 10 minutes a piece. There's 7 of them, so that's 70 minutes. So if you played one of them that's 10 minutes and stopped and paused and talked about it in between, you could easily make that a 30-minute or a 1-hour development session that you would have to lead. And I'm going to tell you what, Ria, a lot of leaders ain't comfortable leading.
Sure.
They're comfortable managing. They can manage and tell people what to do and all day long, but to go out and try to motivate and inspire people to talk about personal growth and leadership development, guess what you got to be doing, Ria, if you're going to do that?
You got to be leading.
You got to be leading. Who you got to be leading?
Yourself first.
Yourself. And what we're talking about, a lot of folks don't want nothing to do with this. That's because they have zero desire to be a high impact leader. They just want to be a manager. And unfortunately, there's a lot of them out there in the world. Ria and I are on a mission to help you not be one of those folks. And if you work for one of those folks, you become the leader. Go to the book study training page, bluecollarleadership.com/book study training. If you don't go there for nothing else but to watch Jim's interview that I did with Jim, he will fire you up. He will get you pumped up. No matter if you're a CEO, a manager, a project manager, superintendent, foreman, supervisor, doesn't make any difference. Plant manager, engineering manager, HR manager. If you want to see what somebody who actually leads people looks like and feels like, go watch Jim's video. Again, he's an entry-level guy. He is modeling high-impact leadership. Even in that video, Ria, he says, I don't know why you're interviewing me, Mac. And that's what I told him in the interview, because he's leading at a level most leaders will never lead at, no matter what title they got, no matter how many zeros are on their check, no matter how nice their house is, all that kind of stuff. That's got nothing to do with leadership. You go on there and you watch that video of Jim, you'll understand what I'm talking about and what Ria's talking about when we're talking about lead people. He's a perfect
Love
example.
it. Phenomenal.
So just to wrap up, you want to go take a deep dive in this, look for no cost, low cost solutions, deeper than Ria and I have been talking about it. Make sure you go to bluecollarleadership.com/implement, and you can learn all about this stuff. You can call me, talk to me. If you want to know how do you do it yourself, how do you do it with your team, I coach and mentor you for free. Not on a schedule. That's why it's free. If you're going to put me on a schedule, it's going to cost you a lot of money. If you talk to me when I'm available, I'll do it for free. And that's what I do there. So you want coaching and mentoring for how to lead yourself well or lead your team well, go check out that implement page, get some good questions, go do a little research. And if you're still struggling, watch Jim's video and then give me a call and let's talk about it.
Yeah,
and they can call
absolutely.
you too, Ria, if they want to talk to you. Some ladies especially might rather talk to you than talk to me.
I'm also available. Absolutely.
And they can find you on your website, right? Information. They can schedule a call with you.
Sure can.
RIASTORY.com. And they can find a button to schedule a call with you.
Yeah,
absolutely. All right, folks.
I
hope you got some value out of today. Our goal today was provoke some thought, raise some awareness in you. That's what we're doing on our podcast. Every post we write, every newsletter we write, all the stuff we do, the TikTok we on now, putting out stuff. Every bit of that is to provoke thought, raise awareness. It's what leaders do. If you're not doing that, you need to go look in the mirror and ask yourself, why are you not leading the people on your team well? Why are you not leading your family well? All right. Talk to you next time.